Hey guys, what's up? Got another commentary video, and I'm playing Domination on Standoff using Diamond AN94. I go 30-2 with several flag caps, and the final score isn't that great. What with me using dogs and swarm and getting them twice in a row, but naturally running this up usually guarantees rage quits. I can never understand how people get insane scores without the other team rage quitting, especially in a 6v6 situation using this Scorestreaks setup. Nevertheless, this commentary is once again going to be story time. So apart from the story of how I somehow managed to leave my house as a small kid, this is the other story I remember, but not too well. In fact, I didn't get the full version of the story, and it's only later on that my mom recently gave her input on a story when she randomly brought it up. This is the story of my mom's transition to America, along with some relatives of my mom. I first got a glimpse of this story in one of my old sister's writing pieces, and the general details of the story are somewhere along the lines of this. Of all my relatives, the only one who was currently in America was my Uncle Freddy and his wife. My parents and relatives were still in China, so obviously none of them spoke English and needed assistance in the immigration. However, the immigration to America was rocky, and the first thing my parents and relatives thought of upon coming to America was getting shelter. My mom was my uncle's sister, so naturally she would go to him for help. However, my uncle turned it down at his doorstep, and apparently his wife was the reason for that. Now this story coming from my sister's writing pieces for school. Obviously, the whole story was incomplete, and her writing had a sort of one-sided look to it. My Uncle Freddy now is married to my Aunt Nancy, but my sister never identified my uncle's wife at the time he apparently refused to help my mom in her writing. I asked her at one point who was his wife, but she did not answer that, and she did not want to talk about it. Given the way my uncle acts and behaves now, I would never think that he refused to help a family member, and I accepted that his wife purposely made my mom's transition to America miserable. So fast forward many years later, I got my mom's side of the story when she was washing dishes. She brought up the story after talking to my middle sister about how my mom is intelligent and was always a diligent person in her studies, but she just simply doesn't know English, which is, to her, her only downfall. Her version of the story has her start off with the same bits of going to America and trying to get assistance from Uncle Freddy. My uncle, apparently, not only turned her down at his doorstep, he actually told her to go away, and this even included my grandma on my mom's side, which meant that he, by extension, refused to help his mom as well as his sister. My mom identified my uncle's wife at the time as Aunt Nancy, but on her account it was just Uncle Freddy who turned her away, and Aunt Nancy had no part of it. Up to this point, I always thought maybe Uncle Freddy had a different wife before Aunt Nancy, and his wife was a real scumbag, because just like Uncle Freddy now, I could not see my Aunt Nancy as a mean person. There was one other detail that my mom added, and that was Uncle Freddy supposedly withheld her green card, which made her legal status in America doubtful. Knowing my mom though, she is typically a very biased person and tends to dramatize or exaggerate events. But she did personally let my uncle have it verbally and was outraged at him for a couple years after settling down in America, so obviously he did something to her. That, I don't know. Which would seem kind of odd, seeing as how my family goes to his house in Flushing for family reunion events. The one thing that I got from this all was that my mom and relatives were Generation X people, so immigrating to America isn't about its rough beginnings. I'm very fortunate that my parents' lives, my mom especially, because I think she's in a way sort of crazy, but I'm glad that her life turned out for the better. And I can't help but think that my mom's experiences in America have shaped her into some sort of crazy person. But no, I don't think being an Asian mom is the reason why. She has a commitment to tradition, which is one thing, but she believes in superstition and all sorts of nonsense regarding good and bad omens, and I highly doubt her upbringing led to the kind of person she is now. So yeah, that's the story of my mom's transition to America. Given her biased nature, I suspect that if I asked my uncle, he'd probably be the one telling the truth, even if he might end up confirming some aspects of my mom's account. But as it's a dark mark in my family's history, in the end, it's probably best that I don't bring that up at all at any point, either to my uncle or to my mom, as I know my mom will probably get outraged, and she's crazy enough as is. So yep, that's the story, and the gameplay is going to wrap up pretty soon. So I hope you enjoyed the story and gameplay, and its commentary in general. Next up will be a bunch of non-commentated videos, so yeah, look out for those. Once again, hope you enjoy the gameplay, commentary, and story, and chase out!